You are listening to the Fairways and Fundraising podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning, discussing charity fundraising and successful golf outings, along with tips and tricks of the trade. Now here's your host, Larry Battaglia.
Hello, and welcome to Fairways and Fundraising, powered by Golf Event Planning. I'm your host, Larry Battaglia. This is episode number 24, and today, still quarantine edition, remote podcast session. We have with us a gentleman who is the regional marketing manager of Hint Water for the New York metropolitan area. I've known this gentleman now for about 8 years or so. Met him at a golf outing, of course. Great product. I'd love to learn more about it and a lot of the promotions that they're doing. Anthony Fiorello. How you doing, Anthony?
Good. How are you, Larry? Good morning.
Yeah, morning. Doing well. Thanks for taking the time to come on and talk a little bit about Hint Water. For those of you that don't know that are listening, Anthony, why don't we tell our listeners what exactly is Hint Water?
Sure. So I'll just get into Hint in general because in the past 2 to 3 years, we've become a bit more than just a water company. So we're also doing lifestyle products, which we'll talk about later on in the podcast. We added sunscreen and deodorant, as well as our sparkling and non-sparkling fruit-infused water. Most other companies, they like to define success in terms of quantity sold and profit margins. And when it comes to their products, they choose ingredients based on how they contribute to that velocity, profit margin and whatnot. And that's why in a lot of other beverage companies and their products, you see so much sugar and diet sweeteners in their food and beverages. Then that's because it's easy to make products that satisfy cravings for sweetness, satisfy certain urges you have that may not be the healthiest, that make you feel good. But unfortunately, the more sugar and diet sweeteners that we as people consume, obviously the less healthy we become. So with Hint Water, we think it's wrong to play to unhealthy cravings and justify what you've done by saying, well, it's what consumers want. If you're willing to work hard, it's definitely possible to make products that can satisfy you as a consumer that are consuming food and beverages, but still feel good about yourself and feel happier and healthier. So at Hint, our main business, our bread and butter, is Hint Water and Hint Sparkling Water. It's purified water that's infused with the essential oils of fruits. So fruit essences. When we say fruit essences, not a lot of people exactly know what those are. So depending on the flavor of Hint Water that you're drinking, the fruit essences or the essential oils of the fruit come from either the skin or the pulp of the fruit. And that's what's infused into our water. So you get no funky aftertaste like a lot of drinks that have sweeteners. They have stevias, aspartame or aspartame. I never realized. I never really knew how to say that. Sucralose. Any of those fake sweeteners that are super hard to pronounce leave funky aftertaste. We don't. We're not a diet product. We're just a water with essential oils infused. So naturally, there are 0 calories, no sugars, no sweeteners, no diet sweeteners. It's a water that when you drink it, it tastes like you're drinking water with a bunch of fruit splashed in there that's just been fusing it for a couple of hours, and that's what we are. It's super popular now. You see the fruit infusers that are sold in stores. We were the original people to really make that mainstream, and we have a bunch of copycats that come and go, but we are all about helping people live their healthiest lives while drinking something that's delicious. Most people don't realize that a lot of the calories we consume per day are through drinks, and you don't realize it because, let me pick up this can of soda, a can of Coke, not Diet Coke, and it has 50 grams of sugar. Well, 4 grams of sugar is a teaspoon. So you never would take a glass, put water in it, dump 10 teaspoons of sugar in it and drink it. But that's what you're doing when you drink a lot of these juices and sodas, and it packs on the pounds. It doesn't make you feel good. So at Hint, we're all about helping you hydrate while also feeling really good about yourself and what you're drinking and consuming, and staying hydrated, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, nowadays it's so important. I think people are a little more aware as what they're putting in their bodies, what they're drinking, and there are tons of choices on the market. And I think that you touched on a couple of great points about Hint Water, about how natural it is and no preservatives and added sweeteners. It's a water alternative where sometimes drinking water all the time, it gets a little boring. a little stale, but this gives you that little bit of flavor that you're looking for, hence the name, Hint, right?
Exactly. I am somebody who's struggled to drink a bottle of Poland Spring or whatever brand water that you drink that you get from the store because it's so boring. So I would get a cold bottle of water from the fridge, whatever it is, 12 ounces, 16 ounces, and just nurse it for 3 hours. And then it would get warm and I'd say, I don't want this anymore. And I end up dumping half of it into the sink. I actually started drinking Hint. I worked at L'Oreal Cosmetics before this, their headquarters in New York City. I used to stop at a bagel store by the train station before I'd hop on the train, the Long Island Railroad, to get to the city. And I just wanted something different, but I didn't want to drink a juice because then that made me feel dehydrated on the train ride. And then I'd have to walk to work and just feel like garbage by the time I got in and then drink a glass of water. So I actually saw Hint in their cooler. It was pomegranate tangerine at the time, which we don't have that flavor anymore, just pomegranate. But I drank one of those and I was like, wow, this is enjoyable. And I could actually drink this whole 16-ounce bottle of water and not feel like, I'm struggling to drink it. And even now, I've been here for 8 years, I think, since 2012. Yeah, so about 8 years. And I can open up a bottle of Hint water, any flavor, grab a bottle of crisp apple, and I could chug it and feel great. I couldn't do that with regular water. And I feel like a lot of people that I've talked to in the market, at events, in stores, when we're sampling, say the same thing to me. I can't drink water, so I drink whatever this is, this bubbly beverage with sweeteners in it. And I say, well, you have a sparkling, try this. It'll help kick your soda habit. Or you don't drink enough plain water, try this. And we've hooked a lot of consumers that way because it is just plain water with fruit infused in it. It's not going to harm you or change blood sugar levels or do any of that stuff, but it'll help you drink a lot more water, and that's very important.
Yeah, and taking it one step further, I know some people that they add fruit to water. Let's say they're adding, a squeeze of lemon or orange or something like that. Sometimes it gives them heartburn, the acid in the fruit. So this is a great alternative in a bottle that gives you that flavor, but maybe doesn't give you that acid reflux.
Oh, totally. And that's how our CEO, Kara Golden, that's how she started our company. She tells a story. She was very high up in AOL at the time. And she said that she thought she was overweight. She had no energy, suffered from skin conditions, adult acne, and she wanted to make life changes and put her health first. So she was working out, doing different diet regimens, but still had trouble reaching those health goals. And then she realized, I drink 8, 9, 10 diet sodas a day. And some people might think that that's crazy that are listening to this podcast, but some people might be listening to this podcast and think, I do that as well. And I've met a lot of people who drink that much, even diet soda a day, because you think, oh, it's diet, it's fine. So she realized that a lot of the ingredients, after doing research in the diet soda, stuff we don't know what it is or what it does to our metabolism or how it affects our bodies. And you hear that from a lot of people who quit diet soda. They have almost like hangover headaches and their body's adjusting to not having all these chemical compounds just being processed through their organs and passed through, and all that caffeine that's in the sodas as well. So Kara started making Hint in her kitchen and serving to her friends and family. And they said, you should start a company and bottle this. And she was just slicing up fruit, throwing it in pitchers of water, letting it infuse for a couple of hours, and then pouring herself and people she knew some glasses. And that's how we all started. And now we're here. But it was those steps of just realizing I need to drink water. I hate it. It doesn't taste as good as the sweetened stuff that I'm drinking, but I know it's not good for me. And when she started doing that, the weight started coming off, skin conditions improved, and we don't realize, our bodies are made of mostly water. And we don't drink enough of it. 8 glasses a day is hard. But if you have a product like Hint and you're drinking 4 bottles a day, you're getting almost all, if not all, of the water you need for the day. And it's easy. And it definitely helps.
Yeah, and I just want to mention, too, Hint Water is a proud vendor of ours. You guys participate in so many golf outings that we do now. And Anthony, you and I met 8 years ago at another golf outing that we've been fortunate to run now for the past 9 years, going into our 10th year, the Frank Catalanato Foundation. But I see the response from the golfers when they pull up to a table and they see Hint Waters there, and you're always very well represented. The branding at the table, yourself or one of your assistants are there to educate them on the product. I definitely think it's just the culture has changed over the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years even. You touched on it with the diet soda. Years ago, I'm a little older than you, Anthony, but years ago, everything was, well, if you're going on a diet, drink diet soda. Well, that's not the case anymore.
Exactly. It's still a misconception amongst a lot of people that if something says 0 calories, that must mean that you can drink as much of it as you want. And that's not the case. I think I credit my wife for a lot of this because she's super healthy. She's 9.5 months pregnant right now, 9 months, 3 weeks. And you would think she was 4 months pregnant, the way she looks. But
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. She runs 5 miles a day, not anymore, but she was running 5 miles a day before this. And when we started dating, I never looked at food labels. And she would say, like, well, why don't you take a look at that food label and read the ingredients? And some of these things that I was eating and drinking, you turn the bottle around or the box around of whatever you're eating, and you're like, oh my goodness, there are 35 different ingredients here. I can't pronounce any of them, especially in the things you're drinking. Find a diet drink and read the stuff in the back. I guarantee you don't know what 90% of the things that are listed there are, and you're putting that into your body every single day. So if you don't know what it is, your organs probably don't know what it is, and you're just doing more harm than good. But until you realize that, okay, maybe I should stop believing that diet is good for me, then a lot of people are just going to continue consuming those products that are not good for you and can actually harm you in the long run.
Let's talk about our advertiser. I usually record and edit this podcast in my home office. And when I work, I need to get in the zone. For me, I feel more productive when I wear a collared shirt, but you're crazy if you think I'm going to put on a heavy cotton button-down shirt. I need to be comfortable if I'm working for a long period of time. Recently, through a friend of mine, I got connected to this new brand called Tillinger. They make my new favorite polo shirt. It's soft, breathable, and uses higher quality performance fabric, so I'm more comfortable. Work in it, golf in it, play in it, anything you want. No logo either, so you don't look like you just got off the golf course. Right now, they're donating 10% of every purchase to COVID-19 relief. I can't recommend them enough. Their website is shoptillinger.com. That's shop TILLINGER.com. Check them out. We hope you like this episode. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review. We appreciate it. The founder, as you touched on earlier, founder and creator of Hint Water, you said that she came up with this basically in her kitchen. But how did she take this from just something that she sort of created and then built this multi-million-dollar brand? And how many years ago did she have this great idea?
I believe it was 2005 where she started doing this. I joined right before 2012. So November 2011, I joined. If you talk to Kara, she's an absolutely amazing person. She's like my second mother. She's a mentor. She's a business genius. I've tried to leave Hint 3 times for other opportunities. And if it wasn't for her and her husband, I probably would have left. But they are 2 amazing people who have really made working for this company an absolute pleasure for the past 8 years that I've been here. And she tells a story all the time. I think I was about the 20th employee at the company. Now we're well over 200 people. We've exploded in the past couple of years. And she tells stories all the time. She was making this in her kitchen, and her and Theo were driving. I think Whole Foods was their first client, and they were buying whatever they were producing in the kitchen. But the shelf was only whatever it was, 3-4 days, because it was fresh fruit that was actually in these bottles. And they were putting just cases in the back of, I believe they had I think it was a Jeep, and they would just drive it themselves to these supermarkets and sell it. Kara, says all the time, and then she'd go back 2 days later, and all the bottles they dropped off, they were gone. People were just scooping them up. So then that led to dropping them into another store, and then Whole Foods eventually took them on, nationwide. They were our first nationwide retailer. There were some struggles, especially when I first started, because it was still the culture, especially in America, of if it's diet, like I said before, if it's diet, it's healthy. And just really getting people to realize that that wasn't the case. Water in 2011, bottled water has been on the up and up, and doubling, tripling in sales, whatever it is, over the past couple of years. And now it's acceptable to go into a store and see half of their cooler are just different kind of water brands. Whereas 10 years ago, that was not the case. You'd see 20 different kinds of diet sodas or, drinks or juices. But as the country has gotten more health conscious the past couple of years, we've been able to grow with the market. And we really innovated the infused water category. And we've seen the past couple of years, even a couple of years ago, I was doing samples or events, and there were other water brands sort of like us doing the same concept. They're gone now. You can't find them. They don't exist. So they couldn't ride the trend upwards of people getting healthier for whatever reason, financial. Their brand just wasn't as good as ours. They didn't taste as good. Some of them cut corners. They added natural sweeteners. But, at the end of the day, we did grow we're in thousands of retailers now nationwide. We're in every major supermarket chain. We have our sales online, especially, unfortunately during this time, have really gone up as people shop more at home and don't go to stores. But even on Amazon, we're constantly the number one flavored water brand sold on Amazon as well. So throughout the years, I think as consumer tastes have changed and gone towards being more healthy, we've also grown with that. And now we're definitely in a good spot, and we employ a ton of people. Like I said, I've been here 8 years. I'm probably, out of everybody who started, I'm probably the 5th or 6th longest tenured person here. And if the company wasn't as amazing as it was, I would have left a long time ago. But, it really is the type of culture and the type of brand where you do get enjoyment out of making other people's lives better. And it's a absolutely great company to work for.
Yeah, and I can tell because every time you come to a golf outing and you're getting ready to set the tables up and you're getting ready to do the promotion, you're a great representative of the brand. I mean, you can just tell that you believe in the product. You're always upbeat and personable. And I think that has a lot to do with the culture of the company that you're working for. I can't even stress that enough. You can just tell when someone believes in the product that they're selling and representing, but also that it's more of the culture that really is what makes the individual come back to just a personal experience between themselves and the consumer.
I did not like my last job. I said when I first started working for Hint, I was actually a brand ambassador. So I was one of the people who, you'll see working with me at an event.
When did you start working for Hint?
In November. So I left L'Oreal at the end of October of 2011. And then I said, I had just gotten my MBA. So I had my master's degree in business administration, and L'Oreal was my first job out of grad school. And I was there for about 8 months, did not like it. So I left, and my parents were worried about me just being in limbo in between jobs. Hint was the first job that I applied for, and I got it, which I was kind of mad about because I just graduated grad school and I went straight into my first job. And I kind of wanted some time to still be a kid. I was 22 and a half with a grad school degree. And Hint hired me within 2 weeks. I hit it off with my boss, Trish, at the time, who I still talk to, I still love. She's not with the company anymore, but I still have a good relationship. I started part-time with Hint, and that turned into full-time hours. And then within a couple of months, I got hired as the New York marketing manager and eventually got to the position that I'm at now. But I told Karen Thea all the time, I don't care if I love my job. I just want a job where I wake up in the morning and I go to it and I'm not miserable getting to work. I'm not dreading waking up in the morning and going to my job and then just slugging through the day just to get home and do it all over again. It's just an endless cycle of dreading going to work. And I truly love what I do. But, I didn't have to love what I did, but I definitely don't mind going to work. I don't get Sunday scaries. I don't worry when I'm watching that 8 o'clock, NFL Sunday night football game. Oh no, I have work tomorrow. And again, that just proves what type of company we are and the culture we have. And it's absolutely amazing.
The Sunday scaries, huh? And you are a big football fan. I know you're a big sports fan. I'd love to talk a little bit about that, but I want to continue to talk about the brand of Hint Water and how the all-natural, good-for-you culture has transcended this business now into other markets, developing the Sun and Body line. Let's talk about some of the other products now that Hint Water is all about.
Yeah, sure. So we have expanded to do other healthy products. We do Hint sunscreen. So it's water resistant sunscreen. It smells amazing. We also infuse it with essences from fruits, which it won't attract bugs, but it will make you smell amazing on the beach. Whenever we do samplings of that, we have pear, pineapple, and grapefruit scents, and you smell absolutely incredible. Even when I'm on the beach and I'm sweating, but I have my grapefruit sunscreen on, it's like, when I sweat, it smells like grapefruit. This is actually enjoyable. I don't mind playing catch in 90-degree weather, on the beach, because not only am I getting protected from the UV rays, I also smell pretty dang good. And so we have that.
It doesn't smell like the typical sunblock, suntan lotion that all the other products on the market smell like. It smells great.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's broad spectrum SPF 30 protection. We have an applicator. It's 360-degree spray. You can put it upside down. It still sprays fine. I know some aerosols, you have a little trouble with that. It dries really smooth. You don't have blotches all over like if you use the sunscreen, the creams and whatnot. We don't use oxybenzones or parabens. Studies have been done that the oxybenzone could be cancer causing. We don't know the long-term effects of it. If you're using oxybenzone sunscreens for 50 years, what's going to happen? We just don't know. So we don't put any of that in it. So you have no problem, but it's still just as effective as the sunscreens that do have it. And yeah, it can be applied to wet or dry skin. The 80 minutes of water resistance is definitely good. If you want to hit the ocean and then come out, you still be protected. So it's absolutely an amazing sunscreen. It works really, really well. I've been using it now for years, and I do have very sensitive skin. My wife's Irish, so she burns like a tomato in like 30 minutes. So she's been using it as well, and it works absolutely great. And then, so the deodorant, it's also all natural. It's on a roll-on sort of, it's a cylindrical shape deodorant. You roll it right on. It goes on clean. It's eucalyptus and lemon scented. It works really well. There's no antiperspirant in it, but we do have natural deodorizers and ingredients in it that will help curb wetness. And I've used it working Hint events where I'm lifting up. Each of our cases of Hint water is 15 pounds. And I've done events where I've lifted 150 cases and walked them over to our tent and whatnot. Don't smell bad afterwards. 4, 5, 6 hours into the event, still holding up strong, which is pretty rare in a natural deodorant that doesn't have an antiperspirant component to it. But the Hint deodorant, it works. It works amazing. You still smell fresh after a couple of hours. It's definitely a very solid product. We put a lot of research into it, and we just launched it last year. Everybody who's using it is saying that it's an amazing natural deodorant.
All natural brand and built all from bottling water in her kitchen. Amazing story. Now, you do a lot of promotions. You were just talking about a lot of events that you do. I'm very fortunate. You guys always contribute to our golf outings, and we look forward to getting back to that relationship as we come out of this pandemic later this year. But there are so many other events that you do, promotions. I mean, it's constant and it never stops. And you probably meet a lot of great people and do a lot of great things.
Yeah, we've done events from large-scale music festivals with thousands of people out in the Hamptons or New York City to community yoga events that might have 50 people going to them. So it's a broad spectrum, and all of them are fun. I think the best part of my job is I've no doubt met probably 500,000 unique people in the past 8 years that I've been doing this. And it's all those personalities and stories and the chats, people, who you'd never think that you'd become really good friends with. I've made some people who I am friends with through work events who live all over the country. Some of them own charity organizations. Some of them work for charity organizations. Some of them work for big corporations that do employee wellness events that we work. We really touch the whole spectrum. But the golf events are definitely some of my favorites, not only because I'm fed well at them, which is very important being an Italian guy, to be fed well. There are not many events better than golf events, but the golfers at your events, at some other events throughout the years that we've done, are some of the nicest, most awesome people that I've met. And just being able to spend the day being a human, and having those human interactions, people from all different backgrounds and ideas, and just being able to spend the time getting to know people and their stories and the organizations that they work for and all the people that they're helping through doing their events. It's really something incredible. And I've been very blessed to be able to do this for 8 years.
The website is drinkhint.com. They're also on Instagram at Hint and Facebook at Hint. Definitely got to check them out. We'll make sure we have all the links in our show notes. We hope you like this episode. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review. We appreciate it. Back to the golf events. It's like Christmas Day to these guys. They get there and they have a great breakfast. Maybe they get a great gift with some great swag that morning. And then they're heading out to the driving range. And that's usually where we have the Hint table set up. Now they're getting out there and they're learning about the product, or maybe they know the product. They say, wow, I can't believe they're here. And, you guys come in and no cost to the organization to do it and set up and do a promotional tasting like that. But these guys can maybe see the new sunscreen or the deodorant that you usually have a few samples of, but they'll be able to take some of these great flavors out on the golf course. How many flavors approximately do you guys have?
It differs in New York than the rest of the country just from a distribution standpoint. I believe nationwide, standard flavors, I think we have 14. We also add smash ups all the time. So if you want to get technical with the numbers, it ranges between 14 and 20, depending on how many smash up flavors. So we'll do limited time runs. We'll do a strawberry lemon and do a special looking bottle for that, and special ad campaigns around that. Blackberry, raspberry, or combinations of different flavors. So
what
it really
are your most
varies.
Popular flavors?
The most popular one is watermelon, which it was blackberry for 5-6 years straight, and then watermelon became the number one. But our top 4 flavors are watermelon, blackberry, pineapple, and cherry. And we also have a new lemon that's right up there. And our newest flavor, clementine, has been climbing up the ranks. But we have a wide range. You can see all the flavors on drinkhint.com. And we have some of those special smashed ups or some flavors that might be online only that you can't find in the retailers. They'll be up there.
Well, that's great. We'll make sure we have those links in our show notes again. Anthony, we love the relationship that we have with Hint Water, coming to the golf outings, setting up the table. When the golfers get out there, sometimes, there's not enough water out on the golf course. I hear that from a lot of golfers. They're always saying, I couldn't find any water. What's happening is they may be having a few drinks out there, but they need to stay hydrated. Many of these golf outings are in 90-degree heat, maybe more, and they have to stay hydrated. And what a great way to get down to the range and stock up on their Hint water.
I do like a few drinks myself, but we all know, even if you're at a summer barbecue and you knock a few back, eventually you get to the point where, and everybody gets the realization, damn, I need some water. So that's why when we're on the course, a lot of golfers haven't tried Hint before, and they might be those people who don't normally like water, but they feel like if I don't drink some, I'm going to pass out. And then they try Hint and they're like, wow, this is amazing, because you do get the fruit flavor in it, but you're still getting super hydrated. And because our bottles are very nice, they have nice artwork, you do feel like almost more appreciated as a golfer when you're going to these events that you have a premium product like Hint water versus Poland Spring. Because while that's fine, it's nice to say, okay, I came to this golf out, it's for a good cause, I had a couple of drinks, and now I'm getting this special water. What's this all about? I've never tried it before. And the people who have tried it before, like you said, we've had people come up to us from your events saying, I did this last year. I'm so happy that you guys are back, because I never tried it before and I drank it here for the first time. I bought some for my house and now we buy it all the time. Like, we're a Hint water family now when we buy it all the time. While that's great to hear from a business perspective, it's even better to hear from a perspective of, we talked and connected with this person. Like you said, we do these events in kind. We never ask for money to be on site for events. So it's just spreading the word and trying to get people to make healthier choices at the end of the day. And it's awesome when I get to hear that from the golfers at your events.
Yeah, and there's a couple things too about these promotional tastings. Number one, first, if you want to have hint water at your event, please feel free to contact me and we can definitely get you set up with Anthony and his team at Hint Water. When the golfers get there and they get to that table, the first thing they think is, wow, Hint Water supporting this charity. That's amazing. It looks great in the community to be able to say it's a great cause today. We came out for them and we're donating this product. The second thing when they get to that table is, oh, this isn't provided here at the golf course. What is this? I'm interested. Oh, wow. They see the tent. They see the banner. They see the product out. They're going to come over to the table and say, well, what are you giving away? We love free stuff. There's no doubt about it. They get to the table like, wow, this isn't costing me anything. I'll give it a try. Let me see. What is this? And then they see the name like Hint Water. It's synonymous with being out on the golf course, a hot day, trying to hydrate, and the promotional tasting. I just think it works all the way around.
Absolutely. In addition to your events, we've done a lot of events for the Long Island Veterans Homes. So we've done those. We've done charity golf outings for some celebrities. But, people who go to those, they're not all celebrities. And the vets outings, we have heroes coming and golfing, older, younger. So it's, whoever we could reach and hydrate them and brighten up their day a little bit. That's all we could ever ask for. That's exactly why we do what we do.
That's great. I can't support you guys enough. I mean, it's such a great company and very well represented by you and your team. Again, the website is drinkhint.com and they're on Instagram and Facebook at Hint. Again, Anthony, thanks very much for coming on today and giving us a little insight as to the brand of Hint Water, the new products that are out, and also the great back-end story of how Hint Water was created. I look forward to working with you in the future on different golf outings as we start coming out of this pandemic.
I can't wait, Larry. Thank you so much for having me on. And it's going to be an awesome moment when I finally get to see you in person and we can work some of these outings again.
Awesome. And again, congratulations on the baby on the way. Just a few days from now, I think when this podcast will air, you will be a proud father. So again, man, congratulations and all the best moving forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Ciao, ciao for now.
Thank you for listening to the Fairways in Fundraising podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and please remember to subscribe, rate, and review.